It's 2023, and it started with life troubles, bad mental health, and the worst cold that I have ever caught for years. That thing really ruined my throat for about a week, which also delayed my Game of the Year video, so apologies for that. But it doesn't mean I can't make it, as I still have much to say about this. So, despite going through a better video setup and making better decisions in 2022, I ended up playing so many older games and so many other games that I have bought that I have not found the time to play any more of them. That resulted in a harder list to pick the contenders for the Game of the Year. Yes, I've spent a lot of time on money on Paladins and Halo Infinite, which both turned out to be a couple of stacked and guilty pleasures, but I've also spared time to play slightly nicer games too. I played titles like Plague Tale Requiem, 2 Point Campers, and Mental Hellsinger, but I have lacked the time to play them to the fullest. I have completed the likes of Q, Cuphead, and Power Wash Simulator, but they were out before 2022. Therefore, finding that perfect 2022 game would have been turned into absolute guesswork. I mean, I would have boasted about Elden Ring to bits, but I cannot pretend to do that without actually paying over 50 for it. So yeah, I'm regretting not buying it that year, though I heard the game is brilliant, so... Anyway, it wasn't that hard though to find one when I discovered Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is now my game of the year. It was Game Freak's unsung hero of a side project, which tuned to the right kind of frequency, delivering a true improvement for the fans of the original. It packed in so many quality of life improvements that treated the game like an actual sequel, such as easier tracking the missions and an ability to catch critters with Pokeballs instead of actually fighting them. All that really made the experience more satisfying. But if I were the one to describe this game, then it would be more of an open world version of Pokemon Red and Blue. It brought back limited rules on items and Pokemon, such as limited backpack space and a lack of Pokemon abilities. It could have been done by devs to increase the challenge of playing the game, or even fit together with its past theme. But in some cases it felt like a payoff for its inclusion of crafting and an abundance of missions and side quests. It was also really difficult. It was easier to run from wild battles, but you could easily get killed and lose your items, giving it a tint of a Dark Souls experience. There were also a bunch of battles where you had to face more than one Pokemon at a time, and you were only allowed to use one Pokemon at the same time. I guess the recent entries to the franchise weren't that kind of double battles. I miss Pokemon Colosseum. However, what really made the game more refreshing was its shift from battles to catching Pokemon, where you have to do more tasks to complete the Pokédex and rely more on the means of stealth and tactics to capture more difficult monsters in open world. Why go into random battles if you could sneak up with the IV and attempt to throw a healthier ball at it? The game rewards you more for experimentation and trying out new things with each and every critter you throw into your pasture. And it was that aspect of gameplay that I have enjoyed the most, along with its open world exploration and an amount of surprises in the storyline. I literally passed up with the opportunity to play this game back in February, when it was being sold for the full retail price. But when I finally played it after completing Pokemon Violet, it felt like I almost missed out on the classic. It was those games that got me into my Nintendo Switch more often, which pretty much solidified Arceus' position as the Game of the Year. Ironically, since I'm posting this video on the Xbox channel, that game is exclusive to the Switch, so it would make more sense to select another one that anybody would play on their Xboxes. Like I said though, I barely played any of the system's games released in 2022. In fact, there was a severe lack of them towards Christmas, as many hopefuls including Starfield and Forza 8 have been delayed into 2023. Grounded and Tunic were good contenders there, but I wasn't that convinced that they would live up to the likes of Stray and God of War Ragnarok. But if you were to ask me which Xbox games I should give my Game of the Year to instead, then it would be Vampire Survivors. That game had reached the same obscene levels of addictive gameplay as one of my last guilty pleasures, Civilization Revolution, as it rewards a ton for burning down enemies using just a thumbstick. It's easy to get into, it gets better with many power-ups and unlockables, yet it still offers room for decision making and strategies in this otherwise bullet hell-esque beauty. It would have been mistaken as a mobile game made using GameMaker, especially since it follows the same progression and gimmicks as Skyforce and Bananacorn. but it was a cult appeal of its Castlevania style and insane short burst gameplay that made it my game of the year for Xbox systems. I don't play as much of the recent releases as possible, and there weren't as many games on the Game Pass during 2022, giving way to third-party and non-Xbox entities. Hence, I hadn't even checked out Elden Ring and Stray for that reason. I would otherwise have ended up with a better range of choices for my 2022 favourite, but as it stands, Pokemon Legends Arceus still remains as my game of the year, followed by Vampire Survivors. Let's hope for 2023 that bigger releases will finally arrive on Xbox, please.
Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at xmarksbox on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.